right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Q&A. I'll be answering questions for as long as everybody has them. Sorry for my mic quality. I'm on a laptop, so I might sound underwater or really low res. But yeah, anybody who wants to ask me a question can just click the little raise hand button, and I'll call on people as we go. So hopefully you can all hear me right now, and I'm not just talking to myself. so, uh, Let me see. Let me open the chat on the side too. 1 second. Yeah, you guys can just chat in the text box too if you want to. I don't mind, but I might miss your question for a little bit. Um, I'll be reading the chat as we go too, though. Um, can everybody hear me or not? The game will probably have pig smoke on. Yeah, it'll have plenty of animals. My voice sounds way cooler, King. This microphone is just not doing it justice. Thank you, King. uh, I'm not sure what you mean, Dudoki, but you'll be able to upgrade his house and stuff like that. So Guleth, the game will be about as open as Zelda 1. There will be some item gating, but it's going to be a lot less than most Zelda likes. I want it so that if you get like if you get if you find like an obstacle in your path, like a gap in a bridge or a stone in your way, I want there to be multiple items that'll take care of that for you. So there will be item gating, but I want you to be able to get through the world in more ways than just one. So it won't feel like you're just collecting keys like in Link to the Past or most Zeldas. Yeah, King. I wanted to be really open. Um, what I really liked about Breath of the Wild was that it let you just go anywhere you wanted. Um, even though most people probably didn't climb like Death Mountain because it's a pain in the ass. Just having that option instead of going up the road was really cool to me. So I'd like to do the same thing for Maple Forest, but I would like some story progression in there too. So I'm gonna try getting both out of the way like that. Finn, that is the current version of the Iron Rose. Actually, yeah, that's just the icon for it in the UI. Um, I haven't reworked much yet. I usually think really hard about what I'm going to make, and then I just end up making it. I don't have to rework things too often. It's rare because I think so much and I work so little comparatively. King, it'll be kind of similar to Echoes of Wisdom, but I don't want it to be so easy to get around the overworld. I want to give people the option to climb up everything and stuff like that later on in the game, but I want it to be more of a challenge to kind of do that. I mentioned it before, but I'll be doing climbing with uh, consumable like climbing spikes and stuff like that. So it'll take a little while to get up a higher mountain, and it'll be some work for the player instead of just jumping over everything like in the new Zelda, which is really fun too. But it's not the kind of game I'm trying to make. I'm trying to make more of a classic big adventure feeling. Natsume, the game actually already supports different color schemes. The game works on just one base palette, and the palette's changeable just via shader. It also supports the option to have different palettes for different areas. So the desert might be golden, and the deeper forest are blue, and dungeons are all different colors and stuff like that. I talked about it a little bit in the server too, but um, I'm actually going to experiment with full color as an option after the Kickstarter too. It's something I want to try out at least. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere or not, but I should try it. I think so. Spicy ramen. I've been doing game development and pixel art for a million years, since I was 10, and I'm old now, but over 2 decades. Let's see. Milo, I'm playing Echoes of Wisdom right now. I love it. Um, and that's all I'm playing right now. Actually, I don't play too many games, unfortunately, and I always feel guilty not working on mine. Um, as far as playing games helping development, um, I mean, I learned everything I know about game development from playing old '90s SquareSoft and Enix and Nintendo games. So I think it does help, but I don't think you need to be playing games while you're developing. I think you can learn and then work later. It's not like something you should. It's not something you have to do constantly, right? Like that. I don't think. Finn, equipable armor showing up on the overworld. It'd be cool, but it's so much drawing work. I don't see it happening. Honestly, I might do like accessories for him or something like that. Like a few things that show up on him, but he's not going to have like different armor showing up. I can tell already. It's so much drawing, especially because I want to draw a bunch of sprites for him, doing like a million different actions in the game. It's just it's like so much work. It's not worth a small payoff. I don't think. Nachos. Conditional dialogue is going to be huge. Yeah, I love Majora's Mask. It's one of my favorite games ever made. I love how the hub town feels like it's an actual little town going on with everybody doing their own thing. So that's going to be a big focus for Maple Forest. The goat NPC that I added early on in the game actually has 7 different dialogue branches just based on how you talk to him first and whether you cut his grass and how you cut his grass, or if you burn it, or if you talk to him first then cut his grass. And it's I'm planning on building a nice dialogue engine for that kind of thing. So I really want every NPC to really um, interact with you like that. I don't like it in RPGs where like NPCs say the same thing the entire game. It's always let down for me. So I'd like to really build a good engine for that and get into that after the Kickstarter. Finn, I love all fan art. And I really appreciate it. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's really fun to see it. Um, it's cool to see how people draw my characters. So a lot of my fans are better at drawing than me too. So I'll be practicing a lot after the Kickstarter because everybody's kind of styling on me right now whenever they post anything. So Gulith, that will be um, that. I mean, I have to do it while I'm doing the DLC, obviously. So that's the latest I can contact them about it. But I'm gonna try getting the NPC builder out a little bit before that, probably about 6 months from now, just so people can start having fun thinking about their NPC and stuff like that. For the fully custom ones, it might be a little bit later on, so that's going to be a lot of work for me. I think each fully custom NPC is going to be about 20 to 25 hours of work for me, so um, that's probably a little later on. So that's probably after uh, Maple Forest comes out, even. Natsume, yeah, I'll be doing like color swaps for the Fox's outfit. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. Zelda always does that too. That's easy. I'll be doing that. Yeah. King, I have a million games I love, so it's hard to pick. But I mean, Zelda's big, obviously. The Soul Blazer series is big. Mother, um, Secret of Mana, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, Super Metroid. I mean, there's a million of them, but mostly adventure and RPG type stuff. Go-to snack for working. I don't know. I need to stop eating snacks. Actually, I got to lose weight this year. But Reese's peanut butter cups maybe that they're in my rotation a lot. So oh, and King, the NPCs will be animals and human. Actually, I already got a goat and a chicken in there, and there's a cat girl as well, and then there's the human witch and the mermaid and the human sage. So there's gonna be a mix of that actually, and that's kind of inspired by Soul Blazer, which I mentioned earlier as one of my favorite games. You can talk to all the animals in that game, and I like that. So I'll be adding that to Maple Forest too. Thank you, Cobalt. I was born this way, and then I kept on working at it. Finn, there will be diving, yeah. It's not going to be too advanced, I don't think, because it's a 2D game, so it's kind of tough to do. You'll probably just see a shadow underwater and pick up, money and stuff like that. Maybe go into some underwater caves and stuff like that if you can see them through the water, but nothing too crazy because it is top down. So um, you'll be able to dolphin jump out of the water though, which I'm excited to work on. That's going to be one of the planned add-ons where you can kind of hop a few times like Mario 64, and then you can hop over waterfalls and stuff like that, doing that kind of thing. So I really wanted to get that done for the Kickstarter trailer because I thought it was really cool, but it's going to be like a week or two of work, so I didn't get put in there. But Natsume, there won't be wear and tear for most weapons. The only one that might get it is the Iron Rose, because it destroys everything. I'm not sure I'm going to handle that yet, though. That might just use stamina or something too. I'm not sure, or it might have a cooldown or something. But there's no plan to like have every weapon break or anything like that. That's not part of the game loop. Uh, Zeldrin, I never know if I'm saying your name right, but um, I'm going to support as many languages as I can. That just depends on how much money I have, I guess. So we'll see after the Kickstarter. But I'd like to support as many as I can on launch day, and then I'll add more after launch when I get more money for it too. So, oh, nice King. Yeah, I'll be drawing anything for the completely custom NPCs. That's fine. Anything you want is all right. I actually prefer weird ones. It's gonna be fun, I think, for me to draw them. I think it worked in Breath of the Wild, Natsume. I actually liked it in that. I thought it was fine for that, but it's not what I want to do. I like the feeling of like getting equipment and then being like, oh, it's special. I'm gonna keep it for the whole game. So I won't have your equipment breaking in this one. Don't worry. If I did a sequel model, it would just be pixel art too for the first one at least. I think low poly 3D would be cool too, but it's not anything I plan on doing for the next one. But something with like a Animal Crossing style art style would be kind of fun. I thought for down the line, yeah. Finn, the fox helping caterpillars is based on every summer where I live. I take walks through. There's a nice road around in my neighborhood that's all like wooded, and there's always a million caterpillars on the ground, and I pick them all up every year because I feel bad. So that's just me adding my summer routine to the game. Actually, there's always like 50,000 caterpillars. I move them all back to the woods every year. It's a pain in the ass. But yeah, that's just from that. I thought it was funny, so I had added to the game. Okay, favorite dinosaur? I'm not totally sure. Maybe raptors though. They're classic, especially from I saw Jurassic Park as a kid, and I when I was a kid, I thought they're badass in that kitchen scene. So, Finn, for the logo, I'm gonna be traditionally painting it on paper or doing it with markers on paper, like all the old RPGs, and I'm gonna be digitizing it. So I like how the logo looks now. It's fine, but I'm gonna make it a lot more classic looking when I have some time. So I'm gonna send you guys maybe speaking teaches typing because um it'd probably be Soul Blazer King if I was gonna do one reference in the game. Soul Blazer and the rest of the trilogy, Illusion of Gaia and Terranigma are the biggest influences on the game, maybe as far as tone goes and stuff like that. So, Franzo, yeah, I am a giant anime manga nerd. That's why I started drawing. Actually, I started drawing when I was like 14 because of Princess Mononoke. Um, and the tone in Maple Forest is going to be pretty 90s anime. It's going to be a little goofy and a little lighthearted like that. So. Finn, there are no video game references in Maple Forest. Um, I don't know why. I just haven't added any. Hey, Meow Meow, how are you? And I'll invite Rad Knight to speak.
Yo.
Hey,
Is there going to be any type of weather system, or will each area biome be a set piece with its own weather, or maybe even just specific areas with weather change, or even weather triggered by events? Thank you, Natsu.
hey, Rad Knight, thank you. There's going to be. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Let me put my headphones on because my microphone sounds way worse. I just realized because I'm playing the sound of my laptop back to you guys too. Let me put my headphones on. One second, guys.
You're good. Hi.
All right. Can you guys still hear me? I'm sure. I guess, right? Probably.
No.
So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. All right. So to answer Rad Knight's question, there will be some areas of the game that are always raining and some that are always snowing. But for the rest of the game, there will be a weather system. Yeah, I like random weather events and stuff like that. It's always fun, I thought. So I think there's going to be a day-night cycle too, because that's kind of cool in Seiken Densetsu 3, I thought, where the rabbits would be sleeping and stuff like that. When you walk by, you could kind of sneak up on them. So there'll be day and night probably, and definitely weather system because I love rain and stuff like that in games. It's kind of cool. Hell yeah, Red Knight. Yeah, I love rain in games for some reason. I don't know why. It's always a nice atmosphere, I think. So I'll be adding that for sure. Nachos, no plan for any Family Tracker version. No, the OST is actually done with Super Nintendo sounds. It's all sample instruments, so Family Tracker version might be kind of cool, but I'd if anything, I think I'd go with live instruments instead and try getting that done because I kind of want to hear how it sounds like that too. I like all control music and stuff like that. Chrono Trigger is incredible, and it took me 10 years to beat King, so don't feel bad. I kept on thinking, oh, I don't want it to end. I'll just play it a little bit more next month, and I played for like an hour once a month for some reason for like 10 years. It was really weird, but it's one of my favorite games. The goat in the game is probably the goat. Yeah, he's one of my favorite NPCs. Actually, he's gonna be a big NPC. And yeah, thank you, Rad, for jumping on Mike for a second. I appreciate your courage. Natsu, man, that's a good question. I was planning on doing the physical release along with the digital actually, um, and just doing my best to make sure it's not, buggy. That's how games were made my entire life growing up, and there's usually no problems with it. I think if you're careful and do debugging beforehand, I think that's better than, you know, modern gaming where everything gets patched 40 times in a row for 6 months. I really don't like that about modern games actually. So I'm gonna do the physical day one with the digital actually. I'll just make sure I do a good job. Pew Pew, vinyl version of the OST. Yes, there will be. Yeah, I'll be doing a full merchandise store after the Kickstarter a few months from now, probably. Um, it's fun designing stuff like that, so I'll do it. it's it's whatever, and I do like vinyl too. So let's keep going. Can I hire Can I hire Lucas and Pew Pew for game two? I will be looking to hire multiple people for game two, probably. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun making Gale Force alone, but it's also really tiring. So uh, I'll be looking for people to hire. Yeah, and they're both cool. So hey, Spicy Ramen, good question on how do you start the game. Um, Everybody says like, oh, don't build an RPG for your first game and stuff like that. But you start an RPG the same way you start everything else, and that is just by first adding a character to the screen and making him walk around, and then you make him hit things, and then you say, okay, I want to talk to things now, and then you say, okay, I want to have transitions now, and you just keep on adding onto it over and over again. There's no like secret uh, thing you have to do to make a more complicated game. It's the same thing as making anything else. You just start with anything you want. It's completely arbitrary basically, and you just keep on adding onto it. So you mentioned you wanted to learn shaders and stuff the other day too. So good luck on your development journey there. It's a lot of fun, but it's just a lot of work. Um, I said it a few times in the chat I think already, but making a big game is kind of just like making a mountain by stacking rocks. Um, I think anybody can do it because anybody can pick up a rock and put it into a pile. It just takes a lot of time. You just really gonna want to stack rocks for 10 years straight until it's done. So that's all it is. You just keep on working. King metal case version. I might. Honestly, for some reason, I don't love steelbooks. I don't know why. Everybody else loves them. I've never been into them for some reason. So it's a possibility, but I don't know. I think it's because I'm so nostalgic for the SNES days. I just love my cardboard boxes, even though they fall apart, obviously. uh, but it's a possibility because I know a lot of people do enjoy them, so I'll probably end up doing it. Yeah, just nothing I'm like super hyped to work on, honestly. Finn, the intro opening scene before the new game starts. It doesn't exist yet, but I'm gonna make it really fast. Uh, I honestly don't love when RPGs take 8 hours to get going. I like stuff like Link to the Past, where it's like, okay, I'm a princess, come save me, and you start fighting right away. Or Final Fantasy VII's intro, where it's like, okay, we're going to bomb the reactor, let's go, let's go. I don't like giant long intros for RPGs. I think you should front load the gameplay first and then let people learn the story later. So I'll be doing that with Maple Forest too. Let me invite Milo to speak real quick because he is up, and then I'll go back to the other text questions. Hello, Milo. Hello, Milo. All right, I think Milo is having some mic difficulties, so I'll just answer more text questions until then, I guess, until he pops up. Milo, your mic is appearing muted, just so you know, on my screen. So I don't know if you can change that on the bottom or something. I don't know how Discord works. So, Finn, restrictions for save files. That's not something I've thought about yet, but there's probably gonna be like, I don't know. I mean, there's no reason to do it besides it looking nice in the menu. But I am a freak, so it might be like 5 save files. It's stupid, but that's how I am. So maybe before it's a lot of a few things like that. Sorry, guys. It's not all about quality of life to me. I do like aesthetics and atmosphere too. So Gulith trying to learn programming using Unity. It's going badly. Unity, I think, is actually kind of a. I mean, I don't want to say it's a bad choice to start learning in because you can learn it. It's a good engine, but it's kind of complicated. I think for a new programmer. because there is a lot of like object-oriented red tape, and everything's really modular. So I'm in Game Maker for this game, and I really like it for getting people into programming too, because it's really straightforward. Unity is really good for bigger projects and stuff like that, but I think it is really like it does have a lot of red tape in your programming. It always kind of felt like it was in my way to me when I was using it. So, but it's a good engine. You can definitely learn it. Keep it up, Gulif. King is sad about my decision to limit the save files. I'm sorry, King. I'm sure you said that before I answered it, but yeah. I don't know. I'll think about that later. Ezard, yes, I plan on having a modding scene. Yeah, I like mods, and I like when people mod things. So I'm gonna try making it easy for everybody to mod things. I'm thinking about how I can do like a sprite importer and stuff like that to make changing sprites and music and stuff like that easier for everybody. And I might like release the map editor and everything for everybody too, because I really like when people take the time to make new stuff out of old games. So that's no problem if you jump back and forth, not so that's cool. And take your time, Milo. Meow meow for game translation. I have a few I want to do at launch. Um, English, Japanese, French, German, Chinese, and Brazilian Portuguese for all my Brazilian fans that keep on loudly asking me for it. They're all cool, so I'll be making sure Portuguese is there too. But and then, like I said, I'll be adding more later too. But those are the ones I had in my head for launch. Finn, that girl is just a random village girl. I just wanted to do a height comparison for the fox because he does have a giant mascot head. So I was wondering how that was going to look with normal human characters next to him. I was kind of testing it out. Guleth also tried Game Maker to start, and it also went badly. Yeah, um, programming's tough for some people to get into. But I think with a good teacher or tutorials, I think anybody can do it. I think it's just you have to have the right mindset for it. I don't think anybody who is bad at programming is like dumb or anything like that. I think you just gotta. I think you have to learn how to think about how to break problems down and do things one step at a time. Because that's basically what programming is about. So you'll get there, Google. Just keep on practicing. Sune is in Unreal Engine 5, another good engine, but I've never really used it though. And Meow Meow is in Unity and finds it easier. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, after anything you learn is obviously where you're gonna be comfortable. But oh, Milo, you should be good now. Let me see. Let me see if I can get you in here. 1 second. Let me see.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good, Milo. Yep, you just popped in. Yeah,
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so my question, typically there's different like philosophies around kind of making pieces of art, as far as like who you're making it for. So I guess the question kind of comes down to like who are you making this game for?
Yep.
And then, it's like some people make it for themselves, or they'll have like, I kind of had like a sibling in mind the whole time I was doing it.
That's
And then like, do
the
you have any
yep.
instances while you were making it that you had like a moment of like, no, I don't really care what everyone else thinks. Like this fits like kind of the person I'm making it for.
Yes, absolutely. I've answered this question before, actually, about a year ago, probably to somebody else, but it's something I like to talk about because I think it's really important. I think design by committee is always a really bad idea, and I think designing for you know the a giant audience in mind is not going to work. I think you should be making the game for yourself, or like you said, a sibling or a family member or friend. When I first started working on my RPG, I was working on it for my ex actually, and my ex was not a gamer at all. Um, she had no interest in games, but she was playing mine obviously because I was making it. So I was making it for her. So what I was trying to do was make sure she either smiled or laughed or was surprised every 10 minutes, because if she wasn't, she didn't care about the game very much because she had no interest in RPG mechanics. She was just in it for the story and stuff like that. So, and if for the little things I could surprise and delight her with. Um, so two things, yeah, I think you should design with one or two people in mind. I was making it for her, and my brother basically, and me, and my grandma. So a small group of people is good to design for because you can think in concrete terms about what they'd like, and it's good to design for people you like because it's motivating. Besides, so and then the other thing is, when I was developing for my ex, I learned that um, designing for non-gamers is probably a good idea too. I think because if I can make a Zelda like that, even somebody who hates or not hates but doesn't care for Zelda likes enjoys, it just means that when you guys play it, you'll be getting a great Zelda like that also has fun surprises and things to look forward to every 10 minutes. Because if I'm trying to make somebody that doesn't like games smile every 10 minutes, it's going to be that much better for everybody else, I think. So that's my answer for that. But design for a small audience and try keeping even non-gamers in mind, I think, is a good way to make games. That's a good question. Thank you, Milo. I like that one. So let me go back to the text, I guess, and see what else we got. Soapsud, how many monsters have you made? How many are planned? Any tools you haven't seen yet? I haven't made too many monsters actually. I think there's maybe two or three you haven't seen yet, and they're just basic monsters. There's like a giant slime and stuff like that, and the ghosts and stuff like that, which are on the Kickstarter page now. Um, as for how many are planned, I like Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time's um, design philosophy of having like new monsters for every dungeon. So I'll be doing that. I like seeing variety in monsters, so there'll be a few new ones in every dungeon. So probably about 40 to 50 monsters in the entire game, I think, along the lines of Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time. Finn has a very good person help me with Brazilian Portuguese. That is cool and appreciated. I thank you. I also have like 50 other people, including fans, who have already asked for that job, though. So I'll be talking to everybody when it comes uh, time for that, I guess. Meow Meow for French translation. Yep, thank you. I appreciate that too. I'll be doing all that in like 6 months from now, probably. So I do appreciate the help, though. Ezard, I mentioned a map editor. Do I have any plans on letting people make their own dungeons and share them and stuff like that? That'd be really cool. I have thought about it. It's not like a core like concrete plan for me to definitely do that, but that's something I really thought about. And it's like if the editor exists already, it's kind of like why not? So there's a good chance it ends up happening, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, it has to be there at launch. But I do want to do that, so there's a good chance of that happening. Yeah. Darth Xenos, is there any chance of color being an option in the game? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, actually, but yes, absolutely. One of my perceptive backers the other day said, "Oh, there's color sprites on the Kickstarter page for the stretch goals," and he's like, "Is there going to be color in the game? What's going on with that?" And yeah, I've been doing color tests for Maple Forest, and that's something I'm going to really look into after the Kickstarter, actually, as an option for everybody, because there are some areas in the game I think would really benefit from color, and I think I can do some really gorgeous stuff with it. So I'll be looking to that after the Kickstarter. Yeah. Spielberg fan. Which three video game characters would I invite to a dinner party and why? Uh, Zelda, Samus, and Princess Peach, because I love woman, I guess. Sorry for the stupid answer, but that's that's my first thought. So, also regarding monsters, are there boss monsters that are also tameable? Soapsud, there will probably not be, no, only because they're not going to be able to follow you around. They're going to be too big. I did joke about it on the Twitter the other day, saying, "Oh, maybe you can bring this guy home," but I don't see how it's going to happen, honestly. So probably not. Maybe some like small mid boss things, like a Dark Note or something like that, but nothing too big or anything. King, will there be a Lionel situation where you can find high tier monsters that can properly go toe to toe with you? Yes, absolutely. I love that about Zelda 1 too. I'm gonna let people, like I said, go mostly where they want. Um, Overworld gating is going to be mostly difficulty based, actually. So um, NPCs and stuff will give you advice on where to go, and if you ignore them, that's up to you. But monsters will be doing like a lot of damage to you and stuff like that if you go too far out from the story path. So, but yeah, I do like really trying to like push my luck in Zelda 1 and stuff like that when I was a kid. So that'll definitely be in there. Are there more foxes in the game, excluding the jumping ones? Sune, that is something I'm thinking about. I'm not sure yet. I got the Tanuki tribe in there, so I was thinking the foxes might show up too as a competing tribe on the island. But the other option is just to have the fox himself kind of be there, and the Tanuki's fighting him. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet, actually. Providing they show up, how do you plan on responding to glitch-based speedruns? Cobalt, I like stuff like that. I don't really mind it. The answer to that will be like if it's really hard to do, where it's not going to ruin other people's like regular runs, I'll leave it in. If it's something where like it happens in like 20% of the runs that people are doing normally, then obviously I have to fix it. But if it's rare and hard to do, I don't care. I'll leave it in. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind stuff like that. Nothing's completely perfect anyway. I don't mind leaving small things like that, and it's fun for the community. I think so. Yoshi, speaking of saves, how will saving work? Auto saves and can save at any time or more old school? Okay, yeah. For the saves, I'm doing kind of a mix of both. I'm going to let everybody suspend the game whenever they want to, kind of like the owl saves in Majora's Mask, but you can do it anytime you want with an item. Just so if you have to go somewhere, you can kind of suspend the game and come back to it later without ruining your day. But for the normal saves, you will have to save at either like inns or at special checkpoint locations, so that if you die, you'll go back to that instead. So I'm trying to do the mix of both there to keep it convenient for everybody, but keep the challenge of spaced out saves. How heavy will the dialogue in the game be? Is this something I can share with my young nephew and niece, or possibly until they have? Then, I mean, the dialogue will be pretty heavy sometimes. It's gonna be a melancholy game sometimes, and it's gonna be wordy sometimes. Um, so it depends on your niece and nephew, I guess. I mean, I was reading and playing everything when I was like 6. Um, it's not gonna be like a vulgar game or anything like that. So I mean, mostly. So I think it should be good for kids usually, but that just depends on how much they want to read. It'll be a little dialogue heavy though, yeah, more than like a Zelda game. It's gonna be like a regular RPG. So oh wow, I'm really behind on the text. Damn. Okay, I'm seeing you guys talking about the making a game for non-gamers right now. Okay, let me speed this up a little bit. Sorry guys. Let me see. Yeah, exactly, Milo. I think if you just try making a game for Zelda lovers, you're gonna just remake Zelda, and there's no point to that. I don't think because even if you do a perfect job, Nintendo like already did it. So there's no reason for new players to play it. I don't think besides desperately wanting a new Zelda game, which is why I don't want to give people. I want to give somebody. I mean, I want to give everybody something brand new and cool. So Wizard, what? How difficult is it balancing the design to appeal to both experienced players and non-gamers? I don't think it's too difficult. I'm gonna try making it a pretty difficult game, but I'm gonna have an easier option in there where you just take less damage, and then I'm also gonna have it so that you can um, save up money for stronger armor and stuff like that. So I'm gonna let people either go like the Souls game route where you can kind of grind for gear a little bit and kind of cheese the game a little bit that way, and I'm gonna have an easier difficulty setting too. So I think everybody can play it. That should be fine. I think everybody can beat it. I think. Meow meow. Is the island actually Canada? That is a secret. You'll have to find out when you play. That is you can find that out later. CL4. Hit me up if you need an Australian translation. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Spielberg fan. This is a Melee visor here. If you're talking about leaving the glitches in, I was exactly thinking of Melee. I was thinking about wave dashing specifically. I was like, I can't take that out if people like it. So, yes, good perception right there. I was thinking of Melee when I was talking. Franzo, you like blondes. I like everybody. I'll talk to any girl who talks to me. Ben, your improvement is so impressive. Yes, thank you. I'm trying my best. I think after the Kickstarter, you'll all be impressed a few months later because I'm going to spend 3 months just practicing traditional drawing 12 hours a day, honestly. That's my plan. I really want to get to a complete professional level at that. So I think Mabel Force is going to look a lot better 3 months from now, and I hope you'll enjoy that when it happens. So I'll be upgrading it a lot. King, Zelda same as a peach, man of taste. Thank you, thank you. Spielberg fan also agreeing. Thank you, thank you. Darth Xenos for the DLC character. I'm gonna have a bunch of different races. Wolves will probably be in there just because it's an easy modification from like foxes and other canine type things. So I think they'll be in there, even for the character builder thing. Finn, that super old prototype. I can't tell if you're joking or not, but that is not my fox. That is a different makeshift character that came out before him. My fox is much cuter though, so I appreciate you thinking of that as an old prototype because it looks like it kind of. King, thank you for your excitement. I appreciate it. Spielberg fan. Do I plan on throwing any Easter eggs into the game? Absolutely, yeah. I love secrets, so Maple Forest will be full of things to find everywhere, like constantly. That's one of the big things planned for the game, actually. And Finn, yeah, my celebration GIF of the fox sleeping. I did put 100K on there by accident. Yeah, I'm dyslexic or something, I guess. I'll be reusing it though. Yeah, I got plans to reuse it. It's saved. The honest Montreal. I'm gonna die, guys. Yeah, we'll see. It could be. King. Actually, this is an interesting one. With all the talk about where they should play old games and CRTs and stuff like that, is that affecting how I design my own sprites? It's not honestly because I'm designing on a CR. I mean, on an LCD now, so there's nothing I can really do about it. Um, I do love how old games look on CRTs, and I do agree that if you're playing old games, it should be on a CRT if you can swing that because they do look a million times better on CRTs. Um, Maple Force is leaking a CRT filter too, but I'm not designing it for CRT specifically, only because everybody's playing on LCDs nowadays. So, but I've tried with CRT filters though, and it does look good like that too. I think in general, pixel art does benefit from a CRT or a filter a lot of the time. It kind of blends it together nicely. Franzo says wave dashing is not a glitch. Melee PFP self report. Hell yeah. I honestly can't wave dash. I feel bad about it. I really gotta learn to play Melee better someday. I grew up playing it, so and I do love Melee. It's still my favorite Smash Brothers probably, but I'm terrible at all Smash Brothers. So, Pew Pew Meow Meow asks, have I planned any achievements for the game? Any silly ones you could share? I hate to be a Debbie Downer about this, but I actually don't like achievements. Um, I had a friend growing up who played every shitty game he could get his hands on the 360 just to mine achievements in his gamer score. And I think achievements in general, even though they can be good and are good a lot of the time, I think they're a net negative to gaming. I think they really are like I think they really hit the addiction portion of everybody's lizard brain. So I'm not a huge fan of achievements. They will be added anyway because I know everybody wants them. But they're not something I'm really thinking about because I'm not super excited about adding them. Sorry, meow meow. They'll be there though, and I'll make sure they're good. I'll make sure they're good, healthy ones. Because, like I said, I don't think a lot of achievements in games are. I think they're just there to make people waste their time, basically, for numbers, which I don't like about them. But I'll add some good ones for everybody. Hazard asks, will there be a ranged option like sword beams? Yes, absolutely. There's a bow in there. The Iron Rose is actually a throwing weapon too. You can't really tell in the trailer because it goes off screen right away, but you do toss that at the end of spinning it too. And yeah, there'll be a few kinds of bomb types too. Um, for the fox being mute or not, I'm not totally sure yet. There's pros and cons to both. I think I'm not completely sure. That's gonna be something I decide later on when I'm more into the script. Strap a Pip-Boy to the fox, yeah. I still gotta beat Fallout 1 and 2 actually. I played them both a bunch as a kid. I never beat them for some reason. Natsu asks, books with Easter eggs or bases with slips of paper with some lore? There'll be um, things like both of those, yeah. I'll be hiding stuff everywhere in the game, so. Nachos asks, will the vacation island be acknowledging the story at all, or is it separate from the adventure? It'll probably reference it, yeah. It'll be semi-canon. I mean, it'll be mostly unserious, but it'll call back to the story at least a little bit. I think that's a fun idea. So, I mean, the DLC takes place like right after the game, so the dumb setting for it is the Fox wants a vacation. He's taking everybody with him, so it'll reference the game at least a little bit, I'm sure. Sune says, "This is Project Zomboid's Dev Studios mascot." That sounds familiar, actually. I think that's what that is. Yeah, I think that is correct, Sune. Yeah, thank you for agreeing with me, Spiller friend. Yeah, I don't really love achievements, but they're some people love them, so I'll add them in there. I'll just make sure they're good, healthy ones. I got you, pew pew. Don't worry. Franzo, about CRTs and developers developing on monitors and stuff like that. I have to talk about it because I saw the Twitter post going around saying, no, developers in the day just design on monitors. They didn't know it was like on TVs, and that is absolutely incorrect. It has to. I mean, I've seen pictures of them showing the games on CRT, so they definitely checked. No world class artist at Nintendo is going to develop on a monitor that doesn't show what they're drawing. I mean, what it looks like for the consumer. They definitely checked. Even I check stuff like that constantly with like different screens and stuff like that. So they knew what they were doing. That's why there's so many effects that only work on CRTs in old games. Um, and even with like a Sony PVM, which my little brother has, we play Super Metroid on and stuff like that. Even on like the sharpest CRTs, there's still a lot of CRT blending going on. It still looks really gorgeous compared to an LCD. So um, I just want to put that out there. Developers in the '90s were developing for CRTs, absolutely. That's a big part of the look for the game. So, but yeah, the Game Boy had the Game Boy did have an LCD screen too, but uh, it's so blurry though. I mean, I can't call it a sharp LCD either. There's so much ghosting going on and stuff like that. It's even blurrier than a CRT probably. But yeah, for my game though, whether it's authentic or not, I'm developing for an LCD kind of screen because that's what everybody's on nowadays. So you are correct. I mean, it's yeah. I don't know. My game will be designed with both in mind a little bit. Franz says, "Sorry for using chat to argue. You're not arguing. Don't worry about it." I like discussing stuff like that. It's always cool. And meow meow, yeah, achievement unlocked, created a save file. I don't like stuff like that usually, so that's the kind of thing I'm talking about where they just kind of like add it up for the numbers for everybody. I'm going to be doing nicer stuff than that, I think. Finn saying I'm wearing a lot of hats. I am wearing a lot of hats, yeah. And yeah, I'm into judo. I'm looking forward to getting back into that as soon as possible. As soon as I get back to Japan, I'll be going back to judo too. I want to go visit the Kodokan in Tokyo and finally get really good at judo too. Um, for my other pastimes, I mean, not too many. I did boxing a little bit when I was a kid too. I want to get back into that as well. Maybe do like Muay Thai or something. But I mean, playing games, watching anime, doing art, and then doing martial arts are my big ones probably. My life's full enough with that. I think I've got enough. I've got too many hobbies already probably. Franzo, what's a gameplay mechanic that you really like but won't or can't add to Maple Forest? Um, that's a really open-ended kind of question. I mean, I can't add like shooting mechanics to it or anything like that, obviously, or complex Smash Brothers kind of fighting or anything like that. So that's a tough one to answer, just because there's so many answers I could give to that. I think because there's a ton I can't add. Of course, there's like everything that's not an RPG I can't add to it. So um, for stuff that fits into an RPG, I'm trying to add everything I can. So I can't think of anything that I'm skipping right now that I feel bad about. Rad Knight wants to speak, so let me get him in here real quick.
Hey.
Hey,
Will there
Rad.
be a way to upgrade the base default weapons? Oh, hey.
Hey, how are you?
Will there be a way to upgrade the base default weapons to have new attacks, perhaps with side quests and special required items or ingredients? Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. That is something I'm thinking about. Like I said earlier, I really like Secret of Mana, and one of my favorite things about that game as a kid was like getting the for anybody who plays it or who hasn't played it. In that game, for each weapon, you ended up with 9 different attacks you could do that charged up to different levels, and I really liked slowly collecting those throughout the game. So I've been thinking about that for Maple Forest too. Either have the weapons upgrade and get new attacks like that, or just have the fox level up and do the same thing. But I am strongly considering that. Yeah, that's one of the big things I want to put in there. So good question, Rad Knight. That's good. And yes, I do want to do that. Let's see. Finn, is the fishing similar to Stardew Valley or more relaxed like Animal Crossing? It's going to be like Ocarina of Time, actually, where it's real time and you kind of drag the fish in. But I want to make it more like a Sega fishing arcade game where it's like really action packed and over the top. So you'll be fighting the fish for a few minutes sometimes for the bigger fish and dragging them in. I'm really excited about the fishing. Actually, I want to make something like absurdly good for that people will just like want to play just by itself. My goal for the fishing mini game is make something that I could sell by itself and it would still sell for $10. I'm really hyped about that actually. So thank you for the good question. Ezard, will the fox have a magic bar or will items work without that resource? Um, so the way I have it set up right now is actually uh, kind of unique. Right now, the fox has it's a stamina and MP bar that are comboed together. So what happens is if you've played fighting games before, sometimes the health bar will go down and then it'll roll over and go down again. The stamina bar works like that right now, where it goes down one time and then it starts eating into a second bar. The second bar is like an MP bar from like Link to the Past, where you have to get items to recharge it. But the top bar is a stamina bar kind of thing that recharges by itself over time. So if you're careful, you can use magic items as much as you want, as long as you just stay in the top bar, which recharges by itself. If you go into the second bar, it'll recharge again too. So you always have one bar of stamina basically, and then you have a reserve bar of MP. Uh, so it's kind of a balance where you can use all the items throughout the game constantly, a little bit, or if you want to go into the MP bar too, you can really hold down like the fire flamethrower thing longer if you want to. So it's kind of weird, like a hybrid thing right now, but I'm working on balancing that and stuff like that still. But I kind of like how it's set up right now. So good question. Thank you, Ezra. Meow Meow loves sharp pixels. I love them too. I love how games look on CRTs too. But I respect new pixel art and sharp pixels. They're both nice looking to me. So King says, "Don't worry, I'll try Middle Force on a CRT anyway." I appreciate that. I will. I'll be checking my art throughout the game with the CRT filter on to see how it looks. So um, I'll probably be playing on a CRT too, honestly, because I'm a giant nerd. So I've got a I've got a huge Sony Trinitron in my room too. Yeah. And then he asks, "Any stories outside of gaming influenced the in-game story?" Um, Actually, Porco Rosso did a little bit. The fox is a fox, but when you talk to some of the animals, they'll mention that he seems like a human still. Um, Porco Rosso ended up turning into a pig in that story for backstory reasons, and they never really they mention a little bit, but they don't really talk about it much. He's just like a pig forever for no reason, kind of. I mean, they mention why he's a pig, but they don't really like explain the mechanics of it or anything. So the fox is kind of the same way because I like that in Porco Rosso. It's kind of a weird melancholy thing. So Meow Meow asks, "You're going to live in Japan?" I will be as soon as possible. Yeah, I love the country. I'll be going there as soon as I can. Um, Soon I ask, "What's your relationship to Japan?" If you don't mind me asking, nothing really. I mean, I grew up playing video games, and I loved all the games I played. And then when I was around 13, I watched like Princess Mononoke, and a few years later, I realized that everything I like comes from Japan. Looking back at my whole childhood, I was like, "Holy shit, that's an incredible country!" Apparently, because their art scene is so incredibly good over the last 30 years now. Um, so I visited in my early 20s, and then the ex I mentioned earlier, that I was designing the game for, I met in Japan and started dating her. We dated for like 7 years and visited back and forth, and I just love the country. So I'll be going back as soon as I can, and I'll be living there. Yeah, it's such a nice country. I was blown away when I visited. So it's just everybody's so nice and everything's so clean. It's a great place, and the art's incredible, obviously. Um, Finn asked what I want for for Christmas. Finn, you are one of the nicest people I've ever met. You don't need to get me anything for Christmas. You've done so much for my game over the last few weeks. I really appreciate it. You've been really cool. Uh, so thanks a lot for that. But if I think of anything, I'll let you know, I guess. But there's really nothing I can ask you for. You've done so much for me already. You've been really great. Thank you. King asks, instead of dozens of individual armor pieces, and to be all right. Yeah. Yeah. King's asking if there's gonna be a bunch of individual armor pieces and or like just a few upgrades. Um, I'm kind of torn on that. I do like games like Chrono Trigger where you get a bunch of stuff over the course of the game. It's kind of fun. But at the same time, I do like the Zelda feeling of just getting a few big upgrades and making them count. So I'm leaning towards the Zelda formula where you get like two or three sword upgrades or two or three armor upgrades through the whole game. Um, Maybe with like smaller accessories you can buy or find between them. But that's something I'm thinking hard about. So I'm not totally sure yet about the balance of that. But I do kind of think that less is more a lot of the time. So I think I'm leaning towards the Zelda way. And again, I'm not sure if that's going to change the sprite or not. It might change a little bit. I've drawn the fox with a cloak a few times. It's kind of cool looking, so he might get that halfway through the game or something. But if I did like a sprite upgrade, it'd be like one time because it's so much work to do. So as they're saying, yeah, stamina is it. That's true too. Magic being controlled by stamina instead of like a magic meter you have to like recharge with items is kind of how it's shown off in a lot of media anyway already, which is kind of cool too. It's like, oh, you're exerting effort to do something cool. So I kind of like that too. Yeah. And you saw the video on Porco Rosso, great use of a subtle curse. I agree. Yeah, it's a really cool little story beat. I thought. Franzo's asking if I think I'm on track to release for June 25th next year. Um, I really think I am, but I'm doing that based on right now. I'm working a day job and I'm only working on the game. I mean, on my good weeks, I work in the game maybe 10 hours on a really good week, but I have a lot of energy and I'm feeling great. Um, but a lot of the time, I'm only working the game 2 or 3 hours a week just because of my day job and general life getting in the way, and just being too tired to exert enough energy to make something really great. So I think after the Kickstarter, when I am doing this full time, I think I think 9 or 10 months is more than enough time to get it done. The engine is basically done. Um, some of the music's done, not that much. Mostly just the engine's done. So there's still a lot of work to do. I'm not gonna lie about that. There's still a ton of work to do. But I have a feeling that after I can do this full time and just work on the game 50 hours a week, I think I can do it in 9 months. It's the scope of the game is small enough where I can do that. I think. Thank you for the good question. And then let me read the second half of the question too. One second, actually. Oh, okay. About the stretch goals. No, I don't think they're going to add any extra time. The stretch goals are all stuff I really wanted to add already. I mean, when I announced the June 25th 2025 date on the Kickstarter, I was already imagining having to do stretch goals because I expected the campaign to do pretty well. So that's something I was already thinking about when I set the initial date. So that date was for the game with the stretch goals we're adding now, not just for the base game. Finn, I will not drink water. I'm here to answer questions today. I never quit. I never give up. We're gonna keep on going until you guys run out of questions. Sune asks, while I'm living in Japan, will I still be in touch with localizers? I remember you mentioned going offline. Yeah, I was joking about going offline for a few months and just training judo for 3 months in Japan and becoming like a master martial artist in the mountains. And I'm still planning on doing that a little bit, but I will be. That's only for a few months though. I'm not going to be offline that long, 2 or 3 months at the most. And that's just to get back in shape because my health is actually really bad right now. I got some serious chronic issues with my neck and my eyes and stuff like that, and that is definitely caused from overwork and from just being in bad shape. So for a few months after Kickstarter, I'll be focusing on becoming a great artist and a great martial artist and losing a bunch of weight because I need to lose like 30 pounds to be back in shape probably and look good at the beach again. um, but yeah, I'll be in touch with localized and stuff like that, and I'll be on the Discord too. When I said I was going offline for 3 months, that is like me not being on Twitter promoting the game or anything like that. I'll also be stopping in here once every few weeks at the least, I'm sure, because I'm not going to just disappear or anything like that. But Ezra asked, will there be anything like the Rock's Cape? Actually, planning on doing wait, the Rock's Cape, is that? I'm assuming that's for flying because it's called the Rock's Cape. So uh, I'm planning on doing like gliding and stuff like that too. Actually, that's the 100K stretch goal that's hidden right now. Um, but I do want to do like an overworld where you can climb and get to everywhere. So gliding will be part of that. So Audini asks, was the fox the first idea for the protagonist, or did you ever consider other animals? The fox is the first one. I think foxes are good adventure protagonists because they're not overly big or strong, but they have like a folklore reputation and just a general reputation of being like clever and smart and tricky. So I thought that was good for like a Zelda protagonist because you're fighting giant monsters 1,000 times bigger than you, but you're still gonna make it through with your wits and courage instead. So I thought he was a good animal choice for that. So that's how I ended up with the fox for the protagonist. Spielberg's heading out probably 5 minutes ago. Yeah, that's fine, Spielberg. I'll see you later. Glad you stuck around for so long. Thank you. Meow Meow was asking what my background was before getting into making my own game. Did I study in a field that's somewhat connected to it? I started programming when I was 9 years old, actually, just because I thought games are cool. and my dad was programming on the C64 with my uncle, making their own hobby games back in the day, a million years ago. So when I was 9 years old, my dad got me learned to program BASIC by Interplay, and I learned how to program BASIC with that, and it was a ton of fun. I remember my dad yelling at me when I was 9. That was because I was too dumb to understand for loops to draw a triangle on the screen in rainbow colors. And he's like, "What the hell's your problem? Think of it. Go step by step. You can do this. What the hell's your problem, you stupid kid?" That's when one of my core memories was getting chewed out by my dad for not being a good enough programmer when I was when I was 9. But I learned how to use for loops shortly after because it is really just going step by step, and it's a lot of fun. I like programming, but yeah, I am just basically freeballing everything though. Yeah, I don't have any like I never worked in any fields related to making games or anything like that. I just a hobbyist forever. And I slowly learned just from doing stuff over the years. Ezard asks, that's a good question too, Meow, thank you. Ezard asks, for the ocean content, will we be able to customize our ship or boat? Yes, I'm thinking so. I'm not, yeah, actually, you know what, yeah, I mean, I haven't totally thought that through yet, but I want it so that going out into the ocean feels dangerous and risky. The further you go out, the more monsters there'll be and more like whirlpools and stuff like that and stormier waters. So I was thinking already like, oh, they should upgrade their boat so they can go farther and farther without having their ship destroyed. But I hadn't like decided concretely if I was doing that yet. But yeah, now that I think about it for 2 seconds, that has to be an option, I guess. Yeah, that's part of the loop, I guess. Kiteline is asking the difficult questions here. Would I rather sweat mayonnaise or be constantly sexually attracted to fruit? I would rather be sexually attracted to fruit. Yeah, that's an easier life, I think. You can just kind of duck out every few hours and do your thing. Sweating mayonnaise would be brutal, so I'll skip that. Thanks for the good question, Kiteline. I appreciate it. As is explain what the rocks cape was, and yeah, that's basically the plan for Maple Forest. Yeah, you'll be able to glide pretty far with it. King asked, "Have I played the Ultimate games?" I only played them for like 5 minutes when I was a kid. Um, I did not get into them when I was like 9. They were too weird looking for me, and they were too slow to start, so I didn't get into them. The Ultimate games are super classic, though. I do want to get into those at some point and try them out and give them like a real try because I only played them for like 5 seconds when I was a kid, so I'm sure they're badass if you get into them because Meow Meow says your code is shit, Dad. Yes, that's exactly what his attitude was. Uh, it was actually pretty fun because a few years ago he got into Game Maker too because he wanted to try programming again because he used to do it as a hobby when he was younger, like I said, and I get to get my revenge a little bit because I kept on calling him a moron the whole time he's working on it, basically, and saying, "What the hell is your problem? This is easy, Dad. You should be able to do this, no problem. What the fuck's your problem?" So it was pretty fun. I get to make fun of him too recently when he was programming. Got some revenge there, which is it was fun. Uh, that said, I was also pretty impressed because my dad is smarter than I thought. He actually tore through GameMaker programming language in like a day, and he's actually making good stuff with it like really fast. I was actually impressed with him. It's pretty cool to see actually. His assembly language programming like was still in his brain apparently because he hit the ground running with GameMaker. He was making like working like asteroids type stuff, and like within like 5 hours he was having a fun time with it. So Finn says, "Thank you for letting me buy official merchandise. No problem. I appreciate you buying it too, obviously. So, and I do love like designing weird merchandise. It's like really fun for some reason. So it's a win-win for me. I mean, it's fun to design and it's fun to sell, obviously. So, Meow Meow makes a good point that if you sweat mayonnaise, you can make infinite money with it by bottling it. But I don't care. I still don't want to sweat mayonnaise. I'll still skip it. Ezra asks, what will mobility be like? Will it be a dash, roll, Pegasus boots? There's actually a dash in the game already. I didn't show in the trailer because it's still using placeholder sprites still. But you can actually dash like freely. You can run around everywhere. It's really fun actually. And out of the dash, I want to let you like if anybody's played like Symphony of the Night with Richter's like a dash jump attack kind of thing, I'll be adding that kind of thing too. So I actually want the Fox to be really mobile and fast feeling the whole time. Um, but I'm still working on that, so I didn't show in the trailer because that's something a little bit newer where I started messing around with that. And yeah, like I said, I was impressed with how fast he learned Game Maker. Actually, he was like kicking ass at it like really quick. He had like screen wrapping and stuff going too, where like you leave one side of the screen and then you show up on the other side, and like it's smooth, so the sprite like draws from one side to the other, like with no like hitching or anything like that. And he got that up and running like in like half an hour, like no problem. I think that's it's not like a super hard problem to figure out, but that's something like a new programmer would not be able to do at all, I don't think. And he's like, yeah, this is easy. Let me just add this real quick. My classic old RP like arcade game features. And I was like, damn, okay, Dad, that's pretty good. You're actually pretty impressive. So that's kind of cool to see because I haven't seen my dad program ever in my life before that, really. So it was nice to see him actually be like surprisingly good at it. King asked, "What's my favorite Nintendo handheld and why?" Um, Probably the Game Boy Advance because I played 1,000 hours of Castlevania on there, and I remember a kid coming in with one like a year early. He got it from like Japan, I guess. He got it imported or 6 months early, something like that. I don't know. But one kid brought one to school, and everybody's flipping the hell out about it because we're looking at the Mario Kart on there, and it's kind of 3D looking. So we're all like, "Holy shit, it's 3D! It looks like the 64. It's such a great system," and everybody's like flipping out about it. So I don't know, it's a cool system, I think. Meow Meow says I can hire my dad. No, we fight too much for that to ever happen. I love my dad, but we argue constantly about like anything. We both have bad personalities a little bit, probably. And yeah, Game Boy Advance is great. Yeah, it's I love the DS too, and the Switch. I mean, Nintendo's always kicking ass with their handhelds, but Finn says I should hire my brother to be a personal assistant, and yeah, that's something more realistic probably. My brother's really cool and he's really smart too, so he could actually help me out a lot probably. It'd be good to get him a good paying job, so that might be in the future. I don't know. I'd also like him to start making games though because he started an RPG a few months ago and it was incredible. He's really smart and funny, so I like to see him making his own stuff too. Meow. Yeah, for the second game, I'll be hiring people. Meow meow. You'll be up there on the list. Don't worry. Robin, you'll be on the list too. Don't worry. I got all you guys on there. King, how do I feel about Skyward Sword being the black sheep of the family? Honestly, I like Skyward Sword, but I only beat like half of it. It really doesn't feel like a Zelda game to me. It feels like a I don't know. It's very linear, so I don't know. It's a good game still. It's a great game still, probably, but I agree with it being one of the worst Zeldas, just because all the other Zeldas are so good to me. Sure, Soapside, you're on there too. Thanks, Meow Meow. Yeah, I'll keep you in mind for sure. I am 100% committed to doing Maple Forest by myself, like a nutcase. But for the second game, I'm really gonna be hiring people. I think because it's exhausting. So yeah, I love the new ones, Robin. Some people say that Breath of the Wild is not a real Zelda game, but I disagree strongly. I think it's one of the purest Zelda games ever made. It feels like Zelda 1 to me in 3D, so I think it's a really good game, actually. Natsu is asking if I'm going to post this on YouTube. Yeah, I'll post it later. Yeah, I'm recording it for everybody. Azure, I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. I've been too busy for the last year somehow. I'm looking forward to the finishing the Kickstarter because I'm going to take a little vacation, I think. I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet. I played it for like 8 hours total, I think, and then had to put it back down because I was working on Maple Forest after waiting for it for 5 years. All right, see you, Natsu. Have a good one. Yeah, I kind of agree. Seal 4. I don't know. There's obviously like a core to Zelda, but I think the core is just like exploration. I don't think it needs to be anything like, oh, you have to collect items in order or anything like that. I think it's a much broader and better core than that. I think Zelda can be a lot of things. If they made like a Mario game and put Zelda, I would still say it's not a real Zelda at that point, probably. But as long as you're exploring and going to caves and looking behind waterfalls, I think it's Zelda. Now I'm gonna ask: is there any date for Maple Forest demo? I talked about this in the chat already, but there's two options for that. I can do a really fast demo of what's already in the game, like a few weeks after the Kickstarter ends, and I might do that. It depends if everybody really wants it. I can do that, I guess. But the other option was spending like 3 months completely upgrading the game and then giving you guys something like really crazy to play, which would be like the first like 3 hours of the actual game, like a nice vertical slice. So that's what I'd rather do, honestly, because I love the game so far, but I know I can make it a lot better with 3 months of strong dev time. So Robin Poe asks, where would I put Maple Forest as on the tier list? It's going to be S tier, Robin. World class. That's the plan. One of the best ever made. You know that already, though. Thank you for the good question. I'm sure you feel the same way about yours. So, and yeah. If I waited a few months to do the demo, it would just be like the first part of the game. So, Ezra asks, will there be dynamic lighting? Like how dependent on a lantern will be explored? Yeah, there will be. Yeah, you do need the lantern to go through dark places, unless you want to bump into walls a lot and and monsters and stuff like that. So there's definitely some really pitch black areas that you need the lantern for and stuff. Kiteline asks, how much better is Maple Forest than whatever slot Robin Poe is making? Robin Poe is one of my best game developer friends, so um, I'll say it's going to be better. But I won't say how much better yet. You guys can find out when you play both. But Robin's making a really good game too. I can tell. He's actually one of the few developers that really impressed me with some of his ideas and his work. So I'm jealous sometimes. Like, damn, this asshole's pretty good at this. So he's making something good. Thank you, Sune. Finn is supporting both games strongly, apparently. Thank you, Finn. I appreciate it. I'm sure Robin does too, so that's cool. Finn, you're typing that as I think it's Episoda. Good job. That was perfectly timed right there, actually. That was actually, holy shit, I'm getting thirsty. Meow Meow, there are no references at all right now. I just haven't added anything. I don't know. Was that a reference in Undertale to something else? I didn't know that actually. I thought that was just a unique line, but Oh wait, no, I did see that. That was from something else. What was that from? I forget. Was that from his own ROM or something though? I forget what the hell that was from. No, I mean the moment itself, where the quote itself was that from Undertale? Was that borrowed in Undertale from something else and then put into Undertale? I forget. Was that original or not from Toby Fox? I think it might have been borrowed. The quote, but I forget. Shred lad, hell yeah! I'm doing Maple Forest car over here, so yeah, kite line. That is my experience too. That's why I haven't added any yet. And honestly, I probably won't. I appreciate them sometimes, but usually I'm just like, I want this to be like a little pocket universe you're living in. So I don't usually love references in immersive games. Sometimes they're fun, but I don't. It's not something I'll be adding probably. I feel bad because Robin's going to add tons of references to Maple Forest, his favorite indie game. So I feel bad I'm not going to reciprocate that, but sorry, Robin. I do appreciate you adding the references to yours. Yeah, Ezra, the fox will have a house. Actually, that's actually one of the stretch goals. You're gonna be able to decorate it and stuff like that, like Animal Crossing a little bit, put furniture and stuff in there. Soon I asked, maybe in the DLC then, maybe in the DLC. The DLC is kind of like it's a lot more lighthearted, so maybe in there, yeah. And yeah, meow meow, you're gonna find I'm trying not to do heart pieces in the game at all because it always felt like a disappointment to me when I was a kid growing up, going through a big cave and finding just a heart piece at the end. So I'll be hiding all items instead, and some of the things will be like furniture and stuff like that you can find in random caves and stuff like that. I think it's more interesting than just finding 20 heart pieces. So, but you'll be able to place them around your house and stuff like that. Yeah. King, the house is next to the village, but it's a little bit to the north. Yeah. I just want some space for it because there's gonna be a little garden and stuff next to it too. So, but it's pretty close to the village though, because I want people to be able to talk to all the NPCs wherever they want. So, yeah, Robin says he was gonna be screaming running around. I'm still absolutely happy. Yeah, I might do like a really short demo after the Kickstarter just to celebrate the Kickstarter ending a few weeks in, but then a few months later, I really want to do like a big one for you guys. That's a few hours long. So, and meow meow, yeah, you're right. You need like your own little spot as a video game hero. Usually, I think it feels more natural. Yeah, yeah. Same with Maple Forest. Yeah, the house will be like in the village, like part of the village, but it'll be on its own screen, basically, kind of like Zelda. Yeah, it's kind of the same feeling. It just feels better if there's a little space. Yeah, thank you for waiting, Seal 4. You've been watching me make this game for 2,000 years, I think so, when it was still called Soul Healer and everything. Yeah, I answered this a little while ago, Robin, kind of, but I'm gonna do two demos maybe, or I don't know. We'll see. Right after the Kickstarter, I might do a small one where it's just like a little dungeon portion or something like that. But a few months later, I want to do an actual vertical slice of the main game. Yeah, it'd just be like the first few hours of the game, basically. So from the start of the game up to the end of the first dungeon, probably. Because I think that's kind of cool. So Mouse Magic Under a Tree, yeah, that's pretty classic. That's one of the design things I considered. I think he's gonna end up living in a normal house though, actually. But I did consider the tree house at first. Thank you, King. Appreciate it. And yeah, we've been going for like an hour and a half though, so I think we're gonna wind it down. If anybody has any like last questions, I'll take them. But let's try winding it down like the next 10 minutes. I guess I'm gonna get dinner and stuff, and then do a little more work, and then head to bed. I think. But I had a lot of fun talking to you guys today, so thanks for stopping in. What will the mermaid's role be in the game? That's a good question, Ezra. Thank you. I'm glad somebody asked before I turned it off. Actually, the mermaid is going to be a huge support character. Actually, there's rivers and lakes all around the game and underground waterways. So she'll be popping up and helping the fox constantly. She's kind of got a crush on him, I think, because she follows around everywhere and it pops up coincidentally constantly throughout the game. So she'll be a huge side character actually. No problem, Robin. Post wherever you want. It's fine. Thank you, Meow Meow. No problem, Robin. And yeah, Ezra, I'm really excited about the mermaid character. Actually, she's gonna be a big fan favorite. I think she's really wholesome and cute the whole game. So thank you, King. I'm glad my voice isn't too annoying. It's true, Robin. You gotta check their voice first. Uh, Kite, I have not played RZ, no, but I'll look into it. Your taste is always incredible, so I'll put it on the list if you want me to. Yeah, thank you, King. My DMs are always I always type like 3 words at a time and press enter. I learned that from typing on uh, AOL Instant Messenger 1,000 years ago. Uh, that's still how I type, yeah. And I type 115 words a minute or something like that. So my my text chats are always crazy looking to most people. I think probably pretty ADHD feeling, and that's how I talk too. So yeah, that's how I am, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Silver knows. I don't use paragraphs or anything in my text. I just text one line at a time or one word at a time sometimes. Thank you, Kiteline. I appreciate that. That's because when I started texting, I was talking to teenage girls back in the day, a million years ago. So that's how I learned back in the day to type like that. That's who I was trying to talk to when I was in middle school. So it stuck, I guess, because I still type like that. Yeah. And yeah, Robin pocket dialed me the other day like 5 times in a row, which is it was fine. I didn't mind. Meow meow. Yeah, King. My thought threads are always getting split in half when I'm texting on Discord or stuff like that because I type like one sentence at a time and press enter. So people are always ninjaing me and cutting my stuff in half like that. Yeah, I'm sure it's getting late for you soon. Yeah, you're in Europe. Yeah, that's right. Finn, yeah, not that rich or famous yet, unfortunately, but I'll probably need a second phone sooner or later, I guess. Not yet. Maybe in a year or two. No, no, that's fine, Finn. Thank you. I'll buy one myself when I need it. Don't need one yet. Don't worry. But yeah, I guess we should wrap this up. Probably. I still got to eat dinner and get a little more work done. So it was really nice talking to all you guys. That was fun. Thanks for all the questions too. I was worried this was gonna last 5 minutes and then we're gonna run out of questions, but you guys had a lot to ask, so it was fun. Thank you guys. And yeah, no problem, everybody. Like I said, it was a lot of fun for me too. So it was nice talking to all you finally a little bit more in depth about the game. So thank you, Robin, and thank you, everybody. And with that, I guess I will log off. I'll see you guys later. Um, yeah, that's all I got to say. I guess. Yeah, it was nice talking to y'all. Yeah, nice talking to you too, Robin. Yeah, have a good one. Shut up, Clyde. Yeah, classic 4chan joke. Thank you. All right, I'll see you all you guys later. Yeah.